Not me over here getting so excited about the colors that I forgot to record. Okay, so we already know A and K. That's the period and the midline. So we're introducing periods and phase shifts to this whole set of things. So this could be a cosine as well. I'm going to write that above it, but I'm going to describe each of these things in writing right now. I don't know if that was the same hand or if that double snapped. Oh, that could have been terrible. And I can't check because I don't have editing software. Okay, so here's all the things. Sorry, B is yellow. I already used it as yellow on the other one, and I didn't realize how dumb it would be later, but it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Okay, so B is the number of cycles in one period, which sounds weird, I know. But what I'm saying is that in one period, I normally do one cycle. If it's a half, I would do half of a cycle in that period, so it stretches it out. Okay, stretches out horizontally. We're doing horizontal stretches now. And then if it's like a 4, I would have to do 4 cycles in one period. Let me show you pictures. Hold on. Wait, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to switch them. Okay, so here's B. All I have here is the period length. So from 0 to 2 pi, that's 1 period. You can see it's 1 swoosh when B is 1. If I move B to a half, I need to do half of the swoosh. Where's my mouse? Half of the swoosh between 0 and 2 pi. Okay. If I did 2, I would need to do 2 of these, boop, 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 between 0 and 2 pi. So it doubles it. And then if I went all the way to 4, I'm doing 4 cycles between 0 and 2 pi. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's the 4 different cycles. So that's the idea that we're doing here. And it's the same if I do cosine. So I'm going to change the sign to cosine really quick. So remember, cosine starts at the top and comes down, but it's the same. So here's normal cosine. One mountain, one valley, right? Back to the top again. If I do a half, I need to just go down. And if I want maybe 2 of them, or sorry, 3 of them, that's 1, 2, 3. So that's how this works. Okay, now that I've done that, let's put it into practice. So we're going to do y equals cosine of 1/2 x minus 2. Now, the 1/2 x changes the period length. And then, well, actually, let me show you that too. So when I changed it to 3, 1 period was just here until here. I don't know what number that is, so let me do an easier one. So when I change it to 4, my period, my 1 cycle, my period length is to pi over 2. So that's the length of 1 period is pi over 2. So if I take 2 pi divided by 4, I get pi over 2. That's how I figure this out. It's great, I know. And then from last video, we are moving this whole thing down too. So those are the 2 things that are different from normal. Let's do it. So my amplitude is 1 because there's no number in front of the cosine here. My midline is at y equals -2. The period length is going to be 2 pi. Nope. Where's the one that worked? Ack! Not me putting it back into the bag. 2 pi divided by 1/2, which is 4 pi. Okay, and then my phase shift, I have none. No phase shift right now. Wait, we're going to do one last one with the phase shift. So let's put this all into a graph. And I need to go from -2 to -1 and -3. So I need to have the bottom half of the y-axis mostly, which is why I think about that first so I can graph it well. Okay, and then we're going to do 4 of these. Okay, now this is 2 pi. I'm not going to change it. Here's my midline is at -2. This is sine, so I start in the middle and go up. But 1 period length is as at 4 pi. So what that means is that I want half of my normal sine by the time I get to 2 pi. I just want half of it. I don't want the whole thing. So normally sine goes up, down, back, right? That's what sine normally does. In this case, we're just going to go up, down. So at the middle, it's going to be at the top. And then like back here, it'll be down here. So it stretches it out to be longer. I know half, I'm trying to make sure that half makes sense to you. Half doesn't mean that like it's half as frequently or something. It just means that it's half of the little section of sine is on here. So that's how sine works in this case. Bruh, I said sine this whole time, but it's a freaking cosine. I'm going to white it out. A graph is sine, so it should say sine. Otherwise, people are going to get freaking confused. If I had done a cosine, it would have gone to the bottom by here. That's my bad. Oops. Okay, let's graph a cosine next, even though I said a sine. All right, what's a phase shift anyways? So a phase shift is when I take the whole graph and I shift it over by a little bit. So let me show you on my graph. All right, same graph as before. I'm going to put b back to 1 because I don't want to confuse you at all more. Okay, so what h does is it's going to move it. So the whole thing, oh no, hold on, I did it wrong. I need to do a minus h here. Okay, there we go. So the whole thing is moving back and forth, okay? So the green lines are moving too. Can I zoom out, please? Thank you. So as I move h, the whole graph shifts. So not only does the starting point shift, the ending point shifts too. Now, this graph is literally exactly the same as this graph was, okay? See, just like close your eyes. Okay, open them. It's the same graph. I only moved the h. So we don't need to go any further than like minus 2 pi or plus 2 pi because that'll just repeat itself again. But I can do anything else. So I can move it back by pi maybe. So this is my cosine graph. It basically looks like a flipped over cosine graph. If I do a sine graph, it'll make a bunch of dots. It will also look like a flipped over sine graph, right? If I move it by pi. If I do it by pi over 2, which I think is that one, it's just shifted a little bit, right? Okay, so let's graph this one. Our amplitude is 4 because of the number in front here. Did I capitalize some of these and not others? Yeah, why did I do that? I don't know. Our midline is at y equals 0. There's no vertical shift. The period is still 2 pi. This one hasn't changed because there's no number in front of the x, like right in here. No number here. But the phase shift is to the right by pi. Okay? It's opposite of what you'd think, like normal. So if it says minus pi, it's to the right. If it says plus pi, it's to the left. Let's graph this. Let's go. All right. So our amplitude is 4. Our midline is at y equals 0. So our midline is this line right here. But here's what's going to happen. I'm going to shift. I used green on that thing and here too. Amazing. I'm going to shift everything to the right by pi. So what that means is that my y-axis is now right here. And my 2 pi is now over here at 3 pi. I don't know how to say that differently. Did I do enough 2 pi's? This is 2 pi right here. Like 2 pi's this one. Okay, so that's a little too far, but it's fine. We'll figure it out. So everything got shifted. Okay, bear with me. If my period is 2 pi, I need to do 1 full sine cycle starting here and going that way. Or cosine cycle. I love sine. Sine is my favorite one. Why can't we just stick with sine at all times? I don't know. So I'm going to do my full sine cycle here between these two because it's 2 pi long. I should have done that over here. Can I do that still? 4 pi. 2 pi. Okay, great. I did it. Oh no, you can't even see that. Sorry, I shouldn't be doing this while I'm recording because you can see all my mistakes. And I'm wasting your time. I don't want to waste your time. Okay, I'm gonna pause this. Hold on. All right, I added the amplitude. I needed it. So cosine starts at the top and comes down. So it's gonna start at the top and it's gonna end at the top over here. The middle of these 2 points is going to be this 2 pi right here. And then it's gonna be, oh no, that's at the bottom. Oh no. And then middle. Ugh, that's so far over. I should have done that better. Yeah, it's fine. It's total. I don't need to redo all of this. It's fine. It's okay. So middle, bottom, middle, top, middle. So once again, this looks like just a flipped over cosine graph because it is, because I shifted everything to the left or to the right by pi. Okay. I'm gonna fix the end. That makes me feel better, even if it looks worse. Okay, so I moved this by pi and that by pi. That's my, yeah, we're good. Okay. Whew. Can I get way more complicated and do an amplitude shift, a midline, a phase shift, and a period change all in one graph? I absolutely could. But you know what? It's Panama, so we're not doing that. That's what they used to say, right? Please ask me if you have any questions. I'm here for you. Okay, bye.